Mid-air emergency over curfew. Boeing jet's engine burst into flames after takeoff from Corfu, forced to emergency land in Italy. A terrifying mid-air incident unfolded on Saturday when a Boeing passenger jet carrying 273 passengers and 8 crew members was forced to make an emergency landing after one of its engine caught fire shortly after takeoff from Corfu, Greece. Now let's get into the thick of it in today's AI podcast episode.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into something pretty intense. Aviation emergencies. It's a world where, split-second decisions really do matter. And for this deep dive, we've got some fascinating sources lined up. Eyewitness stuff, passenger accounts, and the official reports on some, truly dramatic mid-air incidents. Our aim, to really pull out the key insights. What happens when things go seriously wrong up there? And crucially, how do expert pilots in these rigorous procedures manage to bring planes down safely? We want to understand what's really important in those moments. So let's start with something straight out of a nightmare scenario, honestly. Imagine this. You're on a plane, just taking off, and boom, an engine just bursts into flames. That's exactly where our first story begins, with a Boeing jet leaving Corfu. Okay, so this was Condor Flight DE3665, a Boeing jet, 273 passengers, 8 crew, flying from Corfu in Greece, heading to Düsseldorf, Germany. Seemed like a standard flight until it wasn't. Pretty soon after liftoff, maybe only 1,500 feet up, the right engine just erupted. People on the ground saw these huge orange sparks, flames. Someone even got it on video. And lots of reports of a loud bang, like an explosion, over the port area in Corfu. These flashes of light went on for a few seconds, apparently, and then stopped. Pretty scary stuff.
Yeah, what's really striking there is the sheer immediacy of it all, the visual, the sound. It just highlights how quickly these critical situations can develop in aviation. It's not some slow burn issue, it's instant drama.
And the pilot's reaction was just as instant. The jet apparently banked hard right, turning straight back towards Corfu Airport. And the airport, it went straight onto red alert. Full emergency mode, ready for anything. But here's where it gets interesting and shows the level of skill involved. Initially, going back to Corfu seemed the obvious move. But after they quickly assessed the situation, the pilots actually decided the plane could keep flying, even on just one engine.
Right, and that's not guesswork.
No, exactly. It's based on a deep understanding of the aircraft's capabilities, even when damaged.
That kind of quick, critical assessment, it really makes you think, doesn't it? What kind of training prepares someone for that? It speaks volumes about their ability to evaluate the aircraft's remaining strength, under immense pressure. We're talking about crew resource management, CRM, in action. Assessing capabilities, risks, options, all in moments.
So rather than push on to Germany, which RTL, the German broadcaster, later said wasn't possible with the engine damage, they diverted. Flew across the Ionian Sea about 100 miles to Brindisi Airport in southern Italy. That became the safest, most practical option, and the end result, a safe landing in Brindisi. They brought it down smoothly from about 8,000 feet, no injuries.
A successful landing like that, it just underscores how effective these emergency protocols really are. And of course, the pilot's expertise. It's proof that the system works, turning a potential disaster into a safe outcome.
Condor, the airline, put out a statement pretty quickly. Apologized for the disruption, naturally, but stress safety is always number one. Passengers and crew stayed overnight in Brindisi, flew out the next day. When you hear about this, what really strikes you about that composure, that calmness the crew must have shown?
Well, that composure is key, isn't it? But it's not just about being brave, it's drilled into them. Hours and hours in simulators facing every kind of emergency imaginable. It builds a kind of muscle memory for crisis. So they aren't just reacting emotionally, they're executing procedures they know inside out. That's the difference training makes.
And this Corfu incident,
Yeah.
incredibly, happened just days after another aviation emergency, this time in the UK.
Yeah, over in Birmingham. On August 6th, the airport there had to shut down temporarily. This time it was a smaller plane, a Beech B-200 Super King Air, heading to Belfast. The problem? It had to make an emergency landing, but its landing gear didn't fully extend. Completely different issue, but just as serious. Eyewitnesses said it was pretty tense. The plane apparently tried to land a few times, doing what they call go-arounds.
Circling back.
Exactly. Before finally coming down and skidding along the runway, essentially on its belly. 3 people needed medical checks. 1 had minor injuries, thankfully nothing worse. But it caused major delays, grounded everything for hours. Shows some knock-on effects, too. And this Birmingham case, it really shows the sheer range of problems pilots might face, doesn't it? One minute it's an engine fire, the next it's mechanical, like landing gear. Each one needs a different response, different skills. Those go-rounds you mentioned, that's often not panic. It can be deliberate. Maybe trying to fix the gear, maybe burning fuel to make the landing lighter, safer. It's all part of managing the situation.
Okay, so let's sort of step back and look at both of these. The Corfu fire, the Birmingham gear issue. What's the big picture here? What are the main takeaways about flying safely?
Well, what's fascinating and maybe a bit sobering is how both incidents really highlight the unpredictable nature of air travel risks. Things can go wrong despite incredible safety records. That's just a reality. But, and this is the crucial part, they also show quite powerfully the critical role of pilot training and those emergency procedures. That's why these potentially catastrophic failures end safely. It's the human skill and the safety systems working together. That's the real so what here.
So for you, the traveler, what does this all boil down to? I think it means that every time you fly, there's this huge, complex system working behind the scenes. Not just the technology, but intense human preparation, ready to respond even to things that are statistically very unlikely. Does hearing about these incidents maybe change how you think about the safety measures that are actually in place? So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think it's really clear. Yes, there are inherent risks in flying, like any complex activity. But that human element, the pilots, their training, their commitment to procedure, that's the absolute cornerstone of safety. They're the final critical safeguard. Hopefully, looking closely at these events gives you a bit more than just a headline, a better sense of the sheer professionalism and the complex processes that swing into action during an emergency.
Yeah, and it prompts an important thought, I think. When we hear these stories, it's easy to focus only on what failed. But maybe the real story is about how many layers of preparation, how much expertise is constantly working to make sure things go right, even when something initially goes wrong. It's really a testament to how the aviation industry learns, adapts, and constantly refines its approach to safety, always striving.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. As always, keep exploring, keep asking questions.
Okay, one more question for you. Should airlines be more transparent about technical failures like this? Don't forget to comment it. Thanks.